everyone, Forbidden Iron Hammer here, and I know this is something different from what I usually do on the channel, because it's definitely not speedrunning content, but I really enjoy Fire Emblem Heroes, because it's a fun game. I have a lot of fun with it, and I'm tier 20, which is usually like the threshold for what people are on YouTube when they make arena videos. So I figured why not, right? I might as well make content about something I enjoy, because I see a lot of people on the internet always like complaining about either this, that, or the other thing about the meta, and they don't know how to get to tier 20 because tier 20 has some pretty sick rewards. So I figured I could shine some light on how this can happen, as well as, you know, just commentate over my games, because it's a fun thing to do in my opinion. So looking at this first game, I recognize that the threat here is FE, because past FE, my Zephiel can take care of the rest of the 3 units. So I need to get rid of this FE, and in order to do that, I'm going to be able to use my Amelia and my Halloween Henry to do so. And so here I bait FE into attacking me while I'm on the defensive tile, and then I have Halloween Henry clean up FE with a magical attack, attacking FE's resistance, which FE has a lower resistance than defense. So this is pretty basic stuff. In general, whenever you look at a team in Arena, you have to consider what your win condition is, and what can get you to lose, because you obviously get maximum points when all of your units survive. So here I'm going to have Zephiel start getting to work on being able to get rid of everything else. For those who don't know, Sheena, despite the fact that she is a armored unit, she's a resistance tank. So don't try to take her out with magic unless you have like a red tome unit with Axe Breaker or something, but even then it's not going to be very effective. Alright, so I also wanted to make sure to take out that Ana there, because Ana's specialty weapon allows her to escape to full health allies when she has low health, so I didn't want her to come in and ruin my plans later. So now I use Glimmer to take out this Sheena, and at this point it's Zephiel versus my entire squad. My Zephiel has a Glimmer, which might be a bit of a weird option, but Zephiel's always going to be doing damage, so this Glimmer is very effective. Because unless it's a blue unit with Triangle Adept or high defense, Zephiel is not going to be not doing damage, so Glimmer works well there because it's a very low cooldown. So now their Zephiel is going to attack my Zephiel, and here comes another Glimmer for a decent amount of damage, for the 27 damage, I think? Yeah, 27 damage. And now my Gwendolyn will clean up the mess. So a little bit while I switch him now between different arena battles. I do want to point out something, that all my units except for this Amelia are merged. Zephiel, I think, is 40 plus 3, Gwendolyn is 40 plus 7, and Henry is 40 plus 1. I know it doesn't say that on the overlay, but it should, and that's my mistake. So now we're going to get to the second game. This one and the next one were both very hard, and required some good thinking. Right there I'm checking for something called meme bees. These are bees like Escape Route, or Flyer Formation. I think Flyer Formation's a bee. Or Wings of Mercy. Basically, bee skills that allow you to go to an ally, because that can mess up some of my positioning. If, for example, say, I have Zephiel taking out this Nino, and then Nowi just warps in out of nowhere using Wings of Mercy, and obliterates my Zephiel. That would be bad and cause me to lose my arena run and my arena streak. So here, my Amelia has Sacred Cowl, which, despite the fact that's what Amelia comes with, that's not the typical. No! Because Sacred Cowl is kind of just meh, considered by most people, but on this team, since I had to replace Amelia with what I usually use to counter tome units, because Gwendolyn with blue tome breaker is usually what counters tome units, but it can't counter green tome units, so I have another unit that usually does this, but I replaced them with Amelia because I know Amelia had Sacred Cowl to deal with the magic units. So the fact that this Nino does so much damage is obviously what makes her the top damage priority. So I needed to take her out first, because after Nino's done, it becomes a lot easier because FEL can take care of Robin, and to an extent, he can take one hit from Nowi, and then Tiki can be taken care of by Gwendolyn. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Nowi does 28 damage as FEL, which is almost half his health. It's kind of absurd. So the next thing I need to take care of is this Nowi, because if Nowi gets to attack this FEL one more turn, he's going to be in a very tight spot. So that's what I do now. I go and I recognize Nowi's the next worst threat, and I take out this Nowi. Goodbye, Nowi. Or, well, a bit delayed, but you will be goodbye. So after this, the next biggest threat is Tiki, because Tiki can one-shot Amelia, who's super low health, who's just standing there chilling. So, whoa! There goes Robin. Robin is a bad unit. If you're going to use a green tome unit, just promote a Nowi that you have to 5 stars. So Henry can take 1 round of damage from Tiki, but not 2. So I have to get rid of this Tiki somehow after this, but it turns out Glacies is severe. So that takes care of Tiki, and that's the second arena round done. That one was pretty difficult because after the Nino died, if Amelia got hit at all, she was going to perish. And so that's why I needed to get her out of there as soon as that was done with, because that was going to be pretty bad for me in whatever room my arena brought. So now here comes one of the more, I think actually the last battle with this battle is definitely the most close. And after this I'm going to be talking more about general things you can do in the arena to help out your score to get you into those higher tiers. But I mark this Catria with the marker because it has Fire Sweep Lance, which means that I can't counterattack it when I attack. It's a really good weapon in the hands of units that can use it well, like Catria or Cordelia, because they're naturally very frail, so if they blow you up in their turn while you can't counterattack, you're obviously not going to attack them back. So here I actually make a little bit of a miscalculation. I assume Henry will be able to take out Tharja here because he has Gran Owl, and what Gran Owl does, if you're not aware, is the more allies that surround the unit with the Owl Tome, the more damage it does. Owl Tomes, in my opinion, are one of the best tomes in the entire game, and it's very much a shame, not almost, but very much a shame that the Red Owl Tome is locked behind a wall of 5-star, but both Blue Owl and Green Owl Tomes are with May and Bowie respectively, so they're pretty easy to get. So here I need to draw back Amelia so she doesn't get too heavily damaged, and Tharja instead decides to attack Henry. It has Desperation, so it's going to attack twice in one, like before I even get to attack at all. And here I encounter myself in a bit of a pickle because there's nowhere real to run, and there's nowhere to hide. So instead what I have to do is just try to damage control. That Tharja has Glimmer charged up, so it's going to do a walloping to whoever it hits. I now have to choose who gets to take the hit. Amelia wouldn't be the most optimal, but she has Sacred Cowl, so I'm not too afraid of that happening. Gwendolyn will kill her, and she will kill Henry, so I have to move Henry out of the way, so I do that with his drag back skill. I do also want to point out, like I said before, that my Gwendolyn has blue Tomebreaker, so the Ishtar is not going to be a problem. Whoa! So this does a chunk of damage to Zephiel, and if he just didn't have so much raw HP, he would be toast there. So Amelia is going to be able to survive one hit from Adult Tiki, and I'm going to have to get Amelia out of there if I'm going to deal with Adult Tiki properly. So here comes Gwendolyn. Bonfire. Bonfire is a great skill with Gwendolyn, because if you can look up there, that's 47 defense. She almost has more defense than she does attack, and that's not even plus defense. My Gwendolyn is plus HP. So I'm able to do with Tharja, which eliminates one threat to Amelia, but now Adult Tiki can come in and do a very large amount of damage to Amelia, like you saw before. So I have to move her out of the way. So I basically have to rely on solo Gwendolyn for the rest of this round. And Gwendolyn's going to come through because she's super good. And I'm going to now start talking about units that you can use to get high into Arena, just because it really segues into my point here. Gwendolyn is a great budget unit. She is 3 and 4 star. She comes with the lance that she wants the most, which is Killer Lance, which can weapon upgrade to Slaying Lance. And obviously, the most optimal strategy you would go for is System Counter, but if you don't have a Hector, you could do what I did with Zephyr, and use Earth Boost. Earth boosts a skill when this unit is attacked. It does more damage, more defense. If you hit Hellfire, which comes out of 4-star Robin, it will indirectly impact your damage output. Now, Blue Tomebreaker, if I'm not mistaken, is on regular Henry, who is also a 3 to 4 star unit, so you can very easily get Blue Tomebreaker. You can also run Renewal or Quick Riposte if you don't have the Quick Riposte seal with Gwendolyn, and that works very well, too. And her native C skill is pretty good when you're running an Armor Emblem team. Otherwise, you're going to want really any C skill that fits your bill. So, moving on to this next match, it's pretty easy. It's pretty much that Nino map, but easier because Deirdre here is not Nino and is not nearly as effective as Nino. I do make a small mistake here, and it's a great lesson in being able to do damage control when you yourself make a mistake. Lena also is a very good unit to watch out for, but Gwendolyn just walls her out, especially when you're standing on a defensive tile. So, defensive tiles are mechanic in some maps where if you stand on them, you will do less damage. Here's the mistake I made. You will take less damage, Here's the mistake I made. I meant to attack Lucas with my magic ability, but I flopped, and I accidentally just moved him in front of him. And while that might not seem like the worst thing, I don't think you plus Deirdre would have then been able to attack him, because he would have killed Lucas. So he most likely would have died there. So I had to switch in Gwendolyn, which was very risky considering she wasn't on a defensive tile, and Deirdre could have just one-shot her. But the AI wasn't the best, so it was sketchy to say the least, and it could have horribly gone wrong, but it worked out in the end. So now, it feels really awkward to pause for those voice clips, but I'm gonna do it. But the defensive tiles are really great, especially if you're in a pickle, because they can really save your behind. But if you're looking for a budget team, Gwendolyn is good, so is Effie now that she's demoted to 3 and 4 stars, and I'm recommending armor units here because armor is actually not hard to create. Armor Emblem you can do very well with Gwendolyn, Effie, Zephyr or the Black Knight, your choice, and then, what am I missing, a green? Sheena. Sheena's also a really good unit, and I would be using Sheena here if it wasn't for the fact that Amelia is taking Sheena's spot. So that's a bit awkward, but Sheena's also really good. She's a resistance tank, which is something Armor Emblem sorely needs. So Armor Emblem is a great thing to run budget, especially since we got the Armor Boots seal, which allows you to have one unit that's Armor Marched if they're full health at all times, because Armor March is unfortunately a 5-star skill. But if you don't want to run an armor team, using an armor like any TK, Arden, or Zephyr is really good because you can armor boots them, and then you can have, with the Guidance Seal, a flyer. I would recommend Sheeta because of her wing sword, and then 2 infantry units, especially since we also got Defense Tactic as a seal, which means as long as you're not using a horse, you will be able to power them up. So what I did here was I baited the 2 dagger units with Amelia, with Sacred Cow, it was great. And now Gwendolyn's just going to clean up Ike. So, good budget teams, and one of that I'm going to be using next arena phase, assuming that the bonus units are kind to me, will be
a high-risk maneuver!
Legion, Sophia, and Spring Kagero. I know Spring Kagero is not a budget unit,
Bonk!
but I don't even have any Sheetas. I mean, yeah, Sheetas. I just don't have any, which is really weird. I've never gotten her before, which is also really weird. So I'm just going to use a 5-star one that I got from a pull on the other banner. Hopefully this helped you guys, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.